Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78, presenting another Vargas review. You're gonna get a 2-for-1 here, because I went with my beautiful girlfriend to, oh, there she is. Hi girlfriend. Bye girlfriend. She didn't want to appear on this particular video, but she made a cameo, so there you go. So yeah, you're gonna get a twofer because in this occasion I'm gonna talk about the two movies that we just finished watching today in the theater, and we haven't done that since we went to see. We haven't done a little mini marathon since we went to see Paranormal Activity 4 and Looper. This time, my girl was like, "I want to go to the theater and I want to see two movies that are out," and I was like, "You don't have to tell me twice. Let's do it." So the two movies that we went to see is Star Trek Into Darkness and Fast and the Furious 6. Star Trek Into Darkness released last week, but we just now got to see it. And Fast and the Furious 6 released this week. So Star Trek's been out for a while, so I think it's going to be okay that I go into spoilers on that one. If you haven't seen it, then just skip the Star Trek talk. And I'll try not to spoil Fast and the Furious 6 that much, because really, there's really not that much to spoil in that one. But yeah, first off, we went to see Star Trek Into Darkness, the sequel to J.J. Abrams' reboot. A reboot that has gotten a lot of heat from some people, diehard Trekkies. I remember from the first one, were really upset that J.J. Abrams, or they felt that J.J. Abrams basically deleted years and years of history and TV shows and characters to start something new, and a lot of people, and rightly so, and I agree with that, feel that this reboot does not delete what happened before. When old Spock and Nero came through that black hole, that just opened up a pathway to an alternate timeline, and therefore an alternate universe. I find myself more in that camp. At first, I'll admit, when I heard that they were going to reboot Star Trek, I was upset that they were going to do that, but after watching what all the actors did with the characters, and how everything came together, I'm not that mad, and I do agree that this reboot is more like a tangent to what happened before. It's like it's gonna be its own thing. So yeah, I kind of like what happened there, and the sequel was pretty cool too. Last movie, the actor that stole the show was Carl Urban. I really hope it's Carl Urban. I'm not giving the credit to someone else, but I'm pretty sure it's Carl Urban that who stole last movie as Bones. I mean, that guy was freaky close to Bones. In this movie, the guy that stole the show, in my opinion, is Simon Pegg, who played Scotty. Simon Pegg was really good in this movie, and he had his funny moments, he had his little action moment, and he had his emotional moments. He really sold the emotional moments. So Simon Pegg and Scotty, I think it's going to be my favorite character for this movie. The movie starts off with this villain, which, you know, if you like to spoil movies before you go watch them, you probably know already, but the main villain is Khan Noonien Singh, from the old universe, who was played by Ricardo Montalban. Yeah, Ricardo Montalban. And Khan in this one is going after Starfleet, and he's doing these like terrorist attacks. He takes out these Star Trek base in London. He takes out a lot of the elder staff in Starfleet. And it's basically a plot. Well, an admiral who's played by the guy that was RoboCop. So, yeah. An admiral's using that to basically declare war against the Klingons, because he feels that it's inevitable the Klingons are going to come after Starfleet, and he wishes to prepare everything before it reaches that point. So, he's using Khan to do that. He blackmails Khan, and Khan is just retaliating against that, and the Enterprise gets involved in that. Well, that happened. Kirk and Spock and the whole crew were trying to save this species that was about to suffer a great catastrophe with a volcano. But they ended. The prime directive states that you can't interfere with a culture that's not advanced enough. You can't make first contact, without the proper means like investigation and so on. So Spock is in the volcano. His life is in danger. So Kirk risks and breaks the prime directive to save Spock, therefore altering what was going to happen with that culture because they end up worshipping the Enterprise. So Kirk gets in trouble because Spock opened up a report, and Kirk gets booted off Starfleet. Captain Pike brings him back in. He transfers Spock, puts Kirk as his his number one. But when Khan destroys the Starfleet board and kills a lot of senior members, he takes control of the Enterprise. He brings back Spock into the team, and the guy that the admiral that's played by RoboCop sends Kirk and the crew on a revenge mission. Basically, he wants them to find Khan, who's hiding out in the Klingon homeworld of Kronos, and he wants them to throw a torpedo at him, therefore stopping Khan. And this is something I was telling my girlfriend that seems like that was kind of fishy that he would send Kirk in this mission to take revenge against Khan using a Starfleet bomb. The admiral said that the bomb, it's a torpedo, wouldn't be able to be detected, but any bomb, you can detect any bomb and where it came from. So that was fishy. That was like a big hint that the RoboCop admiral was behind some really fishy things, and his plan was to start a preemptive war with the Klingons. And they actually showed the rebooted Klingons. Because when the show started in the 60s with the original TV show, the Klingons just looked like Asian guys. It wasn't until later on in the Star Trek movies that they had this like the bone structure here. And in the Star Trek Next Generation, it was like all of it, like the whole big forehead. And in this one, they did something weird with the Klingons. They still had the spike thing, but they had like piercings running through everything here. And they had like a reptilian back. And it looked like they had Vulcan ears. And their eyes were kind of off. So it was an interesting look for the Klingons. I'm glad they didn't go for the look of the old series, and it makes sense that they wouldn't go Next Generation with the Klingons with the big forehead, like they haven't evolved to that point. The design was weird, but at the same time was kind of cool. But they introduced the Klingons on this reboot, and Khan is they capture Khan. They decide not to throw the torpedo, and I was really happy that they didn't do that. But Khan tells them that the Admiral is just using both sides, Captain Kirk and Khan, for his own means to start the war with the Klingons. So Khan and Kirk team up to stop this crazy Admiral that has a really badass black version of the Enterprise. So that was pretty cool. But something I think they cheated on was that young Spock contacted old Spock in New Vulcan, and he was like, "Oh, so old Spock, yeah, I wanted to ask you about something." And the old Spock was like, "No, I can't interfere with your timeline. Your destiny is your own." And he's like, "Yeah, but tell me about Khan." And Spock's like, "Ooh, Khan's a bad guy, and we were able to stop him, but at a great cost." And which you would, if you haven't seen Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, you don't know what that's about. But I didn't think they were gonna go that way. I've tried to avoid watching videos and reviews of Star Trek because I didn't want anything being spoiled. So, but yeah, there's a point where they kind of do an inverted Wrath of Khan, where yeah, and if you haven't watched the movie, don't watch this part. But in Wrath of Khan, Spock goes into because Khan causes great damage to the Enterprise. So the warp core is leaking. So Spock goes into the warp core, uh, sets everything right, and then dies because of radiation. And they did the same thing, but Kirk is the one that goes into the warp core to try to fix it and save the Enterprise. In Wrath of Khan, they had this thing where Khan stole a technology that was called the Genesis Project that would bring new life to a planet, and that's what allowed Spock to come back. In this one, in the reboot, there's nothing like that. So you think that Kirk is dead, and that's actually something I thought, and my girlfriend thought, that Kirk was dead. But my girlfriend figured it out before I did, that in this version, again, the original Khan was played by Ricardo Montalban. In this one, Khan is played by a British actor whose name escapes me, but he plays Sherlock Holmes in the show for the BBC. So I was okay with it. The actor that played Khan, even he's not the same race as the original one. That didn't bother me. And what they did is that, like in the original, Khan was this genetically engineered badass that was bred to conquer. In this one, he's the same thing. He's stronger, he's faster, but they also gave him a Wolverine power, where his blood can heal illness and everything. So my girlfriend figured it out before I did that they were going to use Khan's blood to heal Kirk and bring him back. So my girlfriend was way ahead of me on this movie. And I'm supposed to be the Trekkie expert, but she realized it before I did. So yes, I'm turning her into a geek. But yeah, that's the way they bring Kirk back to life. They inject him full of Khan's blood, and he's alive. So alternately, in the original version, Kirk is the one that screams the epic Khan. But when Kirk dies in this one, Spock is the one that. So I like the way that they switched up Wrath of Khan that way. So I thought that was cool. And again, the actor that plays Khan, I think, did a really good job. He seemed threatening. He seemed intelligent. Even though I don't think he was developed as much. He didn't get enough screen time to really flesh out his character. But all in all, Star Trek Into Darkness, really good movie. Again, the actor that played Khan did a good job, but the actor that stole the show, in my opinion, is Simon Pegg as Scotty. He did a really, really good job, and yeah, so he's my MVP for this Star Trek movie. So I would totally recommend it. If you don't know anything about Star Trek, I'd recommend watching it. Even though if you've watched this video, I've already spoiled the hell out of it for you, but yeah, I would recommend it. It's a really solid sequel. So yeah, I'd recommend that one. The second movie we went to see, and 15 minutes after the first one ended, we just changed theater, and we went to see Fast and the Furious 6. So I'm just going to call it Fast 6. I did not get to see Fast 5. I wanted to see it because they included Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And a lot of people think that The Rock isn't that good of an actor, but I think he's a solid actor. I liked him in G.I. Joe. The second G.I. Joe movie, he was really good in that. And I think if he took up more challenging roles, he could show people that he's a good actor. But so Fast 6 is a direct sequel to that. Again, I didn't see Fast 5, but I saw the ending. And in the ending, the sequel bait is that the Michelle Rodriguez character is still alive. And I think she got killed in Fast and the Furious 2. So she's back. So that's the reason why The Rock brings everyone together. Because in the last movie, they stole like $100 million. So they're living it up with each other, share the Vin Diesel character is living with the cop from Fast Five. The other character, the blonde guy, is married to Vin Diesel's sister, and they have a kid, so they're happy. Everyone's doing their own thing. But when The Rock comes to Vin Diesel and says to him that the Michelle Rodriguez character is still alive, they all get together to try to look for her. Now, the reason she's alive is that they were gonna kill her, but she didn't die. In the second movie, I think it's implied that she got shot, point blank, and that's how they killed her. In this one, they kind of do a retcon where the guy who was going to kill her shoots the car, which causes an explosion, which sends her flying. She bumps her head, total amnesia. She doesn't remember who she was, what she was doing. She kind of has some knowledge because she knows how to race and how to build cars and everything. So, but she fell into the hands of this terrorist that recruited her for something. They're building like this satellite. Their plan is to build a satellite so that they can blackmail the world. And but they have these really they're like beefed up for Formula One cars, where they flip cars over and everything. So the guy, a character in the movie, was saying that because they have all these characters, they have the genius mechanic, they have the kind of dumb comedy relief, they have the Asian guy, they have the ninja style chick, they have the blonde guy, Vin Diesel's character, and the bad guy has his own like bizarro dark versions of each one of the characters. So I thought that was really cool how he made he made it a point to show off that, hey, this guy's like the evil version of you and you and you. So that was pretty funny. And this is something that the movie has. It has a lot of really funny moments. The car chase scenes are pretty cool, even though we watch Star Trek, and Star Trek is a science fiction movie, and that movie didn't break the laws of physics and reality as much as Fast 6. I mean, you had cars flying in impossible ways and flipping over. There's one scene where the whole theater collectively was like, ah, come on. Where they're trying to stop a tank, and Michelle Rodriguez is in the top of the tank. So they stop the tank, and Michelle Rodriguez, because they're on this bridge, and Michelle Rodriguez goes like flying. Vin Diesel in the opposite direction crashes his car. He goes flying, and then he catches her and lands in another car. And everyone in the theater was like, that just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. No way, no how. And that was a really cool moment. A cool moment that I've had in movie theaters, that the whole theater got together in one specific moment. That's rare, but when it happens, you know that a movie did something either really well or did something really, really half-ass. And yeah, that moment I think is the latter. But the stunts are pretty cool. All the actors give a good job. I think The Rock gives a good performance. Vin Diesel is Vin Diesel in the same character as he's always been in these movies. But it also gives a good performance. I don't think I have any complaint. They even have a really interesting what the hell moment near the end where, because Michelle Rodriguez starts realizing that the Vin Diesel character genuinely cares for her, and the terrorist guy's just kind of like using her. So she goes with the good guys. But then something happens, and you think that Michelle Rodriguez is going to go back to the bad guy, and then they totally blow your mind with a something. And even my girlfriend didn't see that one coming. She saw how they were going to bring back Kirk. Neither she nor I saw that particular thing. So that was a surprise for both of us. And you know, when a movie surprises you, it has some merit. And the movie is not boring. It goes at a good. It actually goes at a really fast pace, but you don't get lost in it. And the story is not something that's going to win any awards. It's an action movie. It's a team trying to stop a terrorist. I don't even consider them anti-heroes anymore. Because in the other movies, they kind of were anti-heroes, where they just got together to complete a common goal. And in this one, they do seem more like good guys. They don't seem like anti-heroes. They get together because they want to save the Michelle Rodriguez character, and along the way they want to stop this terrorist guy. So, yeah, I think they went all hero on this movie, and even The Rock's like, because in the fifth one he was after all of the members of the team, and in this one he's like, I'm gonna work with you guys because even though you made a fool of me last movie, I trust you enough to work with you on this one. So, yeah, that whole turn might turn you off, but again, it's an action movie. I didn't see any problem with that. Be ready to get out your suspension of disbelief because, again, some of the stunts are really cool. It's really fast paced, but there's a lot of breaking the laws of physics here. Just some things just can't be done in real life, and that happens in this movie. So, if you like the Fast and the Furious series, you're gonna like this one. It's really cool. The only thing I don't get is now I don't understand the chronological order because, or maybe I don't remember it that well, but I remember that Fast 1 and 2 came out, then Tokyo Drift, then 4 and 5. But now it seems that Tokyo Drift was after the sixth one. So it's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and Tokyo Drift. If that's not the way it goes, someone please leave a comment. But because now I'm confused on the order of the Fast and the Furious movies. I thought Tokyo Drift was a spin-off, but then in the fourth one they bring in or was it the fifth one? I think it was the fifth one where they bring in the Asian guy that returns in this one. But then he said the ending on Tokyo Drift happens at the end of this. So I'm confused about that. I might have to watch them all over again to get a better understanding. But they do leave a sequel bait, so there's probably going to be a Fast and the Furious 7 if 6 does well. Again, without going into the confusion thing that I mentioned before, the Asian guy is running around in the streets during Tokyo Drift. He crashes, his car blows up. But in the end of this sequel bait, Jason Statham comes out, calls the Vin Diesel character and says, "You don't know who I am, but you're going to meet me soon enough," and then hangs up as the Asian guy blows up. So, yeah. There's going to be another Fast and the Furious. I think they're going to get rid of The Rock, and they're going to bring in Jason Statham. So, it looks like he's going to be a bad guy because he caused the death of the Asian guy. So, yeah. I think we have one more Fast and the Furious running. Right now, they're in a really... This one ended in a really good note. If they would have stopped here, that would have been okay. I don't like the idea of a series going too long, because then they'll just run out of ideas and run it to the ground like what happened with the Saw movies and the Final Destinations to a point. So, Fast 6 was a good movie. I'd recommend watching that one too. Again, if you're a fan of the series, you're going to like it, regardless of what I might say. But if you're not a fan of the series, I'd still go watch it. It was a fun movie. It was a fast-paced movie. So, I'd recommend that one too. At this point, I don't know if I would look forward to a seventh one. But if it comes out, I'll probably give it a chance if it looks interesting and it's at least written or directed by the same guy that did 5 and 6. Those two movies. Well, I did not see 5, but 6 was pretty fun. So, yeah, I also recommend that. 2 really solid movies, all in all. Star Trek Into Darkness and Fast 6. Good movies. I'd recommend it. I give Star Trek 9.9 if you want to score 9.9 only because there are some things that I don't know, might have been fixed or made better. And Fast and Furious 6, I'll give a 9. It's a good 9. Again, you can nitpick. There are things to nitpick, but it's an entertaining movie. And I've always said, as long as a movie does not bore me or does not offend me in any way, it gets a good score. And Fast 6 was a good movie. It was a good movie experience. The crowd that went to see it was really into it, so I think that helps out. But me and my girlfriend liked both of the movies, so take that for what you will. But this was my review of Star Trek Into Darkness and Fast 6. Like always, I look forward to a comment. Let me know what you thought of Star Trek or Fast 6. What you didn't agree with this video, what you did agree on this video. And yeah, I look forward to that. But until then, and until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78, signing off.